Hey everybody, welcome to another RodzSquad Retro Reviews. I know it's been a couple of weeks since we've actually been able to do some videos. Work has really got on us, especially with the fall season now coming up where we work, so it's really busy. But we've been wanting to do this video for some time because I've been spending a lot of time playing the older consoles from the generation from the early 80s and late 70s. So we've definitely seen, you guys know how much of a big fan I am of the Atari 2600 version, the VCS, the 5200, the 7800 of course. As you can see, I've also grown to become a really big fan of the ColecoVision. So the only other console at the time that I really wasn't paying any mind to, I mean, other than the Magnavox, we do have the Magnavox. Haven't had a chance to hit that one yet, but it didn't really factor into that console war. They called it the very first console war. Well, the last one we picked up was when we went to the Long Island Retro Gaming Expo. Am I correct? Back in August. Well, we picked up for the first time. Never had one. We have a Intellivision, as you can see, and a couple of games with it. It was really cool. Never had an Intellivision. I mean, no, I think we did have an Intellivision a long time ago. I got to go over this with my brother because a lot of my memories do become hazy. Because back in those days, you used to trade for things, and I think we did have it for a very short period of time, but we weren't impressed. I think it was because of these controllers. We'll talk about that in a few minutes.
They suck.
But the wood grain, you got the wood grain. Wood grain is kind of cool. 70s was wood grain, wasn't it? This was released back in 1979 by the Mattel Corporation, who wanted to get into the gaming wars, dominated by Atari, of course. And in 1979, they came out and actually had several different versions of it. This is actually the very first initial one. There's some weight to it, so I'm actually straining my arm a little bit. So this is the very first one. They actually had a 2, which I don't have. Eventually we'll pick up when I get a chance. And I think they have another one, a 3. And of course we have a flashback the wifey picked up for me when it came out, the Intellivision flashback. Unfortunately, it still had the same controllers, which really was not impressive to me. Yeah, so this is the Intellivision, really flat, as you can see. There's a pro and con to the controller. Goes to the bottom to it. RF cable right to the back of the television. Right now I got it connected to the flat screen right here. Didn't want to, because it's bigger, I didn't want to go to the my Samsung GX because it's a smaller screen. But it's connected to the television itself. Am I correct? We use the axle?
Yes. Right?
And there goes the plug. The good thing about this one is that the actual plug is connected to the console itself. You can remove the RF, which is kind of cool. And got some vents right here. It's actually an attractive system to say. Some people doesn't think it's that attractive. To me, it is an attractive console because back then I would assume anyway. Back then, if you had a wood paneling in your walls and stuff like that, this would fit perfectly with it. Especially if it's sitting right next to the Atari 2600 with the wood panel that was in front of it. So that was pretty cool.
And the controllers have a dock.
Yeah, and the controls, right. The controls have a dock. Not too different from the ColecoVision one. The only thing is these do not come off. The Intellivision ones, you can take them out. If this breaks down, you're kind of screwed. If you know how to open these things up, and probably, most of us don't do that. So that's a con in my thing. The other con is, what the hell is this? Excuse the way I explained that. I am not a fan of this. I mean, you could here supposedly you have complete turns on the screen for
360.
Yeah, but to me, it's not as responsive as I wish it was. It just doesn't feel that great. These buttons right here, you have the layouts that come out with some of these games. I got some of these layouts right here. Do I have layouts? I do have. I've got a couple of them, right? We got the layouts that actually slide in to this area right here.
The number keypad.
Yeah, and it'll give you, whatever it is that these corresponding buttons would affect in the game or stuff like that. But again, it's connected directly to the console. So if this gets damaged, you're kind of screwed because not all of us are tech savvy like that to put these things together. Me included, I am not that tech savvy, believe it. I can connect your TV, I can do all that kind of stuff, but when you're asking me to take things apart, I'm not exactly great. But it fits real nice into it, as you can see. And it goes right inside. The power button's right here. It has the resetting by here. That's all it really has. And obviously the most important part of it is, unlike the Atari 2600, or the Atari systems, and the ColecoVision, which had the port to put the cartridges on top, this was on the side. So what you would do is you would take the game, just like the Atari, whatever, but instead of putting it on top, you put it on the side like that, clicks in, and you just start playing. So, what else did I say? Mattel, right? The Mattel console. Not crazy about the controllers, of course, but I'm pretty sure there's some people out there that do feel good about that. Now, supposedly, the Intellivision, that's what I meant to say, the Intellivision, that's actually, it's actually two words in one, which represents this. This is actually really considered the intelligent television. Am I saying that correct? Intelligent television formed into one word. So that's where you get the Intellivision from. That's why that's called the Intellivision. Again, so I'm going to go ahead and just throw a couple of games out there just to show you how it looks. But I'll be honest with you, I was a little disappointed on one of the things is that I'm a big Donkey Kong fan myself. A big Donkey Kong fan. And I've got Donkey Kong for the 2600. I have Donkey Kong for the 7800. I have Donkey Kong in pretty much every system, Nintendo, whatever. ColecoVision at the time had the best within all three consoles, which is the Intellivision, Atari, obviously, and the ColecoVision. ColecoVision had the best out of all three between Atari 26, Intellivision, and that. So, but this one is terrible. I mean, I have it in the box, but it's terrible. The other part about it, I should have mentioned that. Why don't you tell me? Is that a regular cartridge for a 2600, as you can see, is much bigger. Okay, this one is actually really small. I don't know if you can note. Can you see it? Can
yes.
you notice that? It's a lot smaller. You know, actually, you can put it on top of one. You can still see the Atari 2600 controller. I mean, the cartridge right under it. Yeah. I get tongue tied. Blah, 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 blah. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and, as a matter of fact, I'm just gonna show it to you. What do you think? And I'm gonna do the blowing. Yes, I'm blowing. So we're gonna go ahead and turn it on. Again, I got it connected to the flat TV because it's a bigger screen. Hopefully, you guys get to see it really, really well. You can take a look at what it looks like. This is Donkey Kong for the Intellivision. This is how it looks. I was not impressed. And come on, hold on. Let's blow it. Let's blow it. Let's blow it. Come on. Okay. As you can see, represented by Coleco. Right. Now, the game itself, I am not impressed with. Which is Doc 1 and which is Doc 2? I'm guessing Doc 1 is on this side. Hold on. Hold on. All right. Let's go. Let's press 1. All right. All right. Wait. Oh, I'm holding it upside down. See? I'm already confused. Okay. 1. Yes. 1. Let's go. Let's play. Let's start. Look at Donkey Kong. Can you see? What the hell is that?
Looks like a frog.
Yeah. The other part is it. If you can look at the controller real quick, just like the oh my god, I'm just not crazy about this. Just like the just like the ColecoVision, you have corresponding buttons on the side, which makes it really uncomfortable. I'm not a fan of these, man. That's why I was so happy we picked up the Champ. Am I correct?
Yes.
For the ColecoVision, where we can use the. It's just very, very uncomfortable. But check out Donkey Kong. Doesn't he look terrible?
He looks like a frog smiling.
I'm just not having enough. And I love Donkey Kong. I play Donkey Kong a lot. I think I have to jump into it. Do you notice it? You see how the board looks like it's broken there?
Yeah.
I'm trying to jump. I'm not impressed. See? Let's go across. Let's go across. Come on. Are you being a pain here? Oh, am I gonna do this? This is terrible. Not a fan. You know, playing with the button on the side is just not fun to me. And it just, I don't know. It's a travesty because I'm a big fan of Donkey Kong. Go up. All right, am I gonna make it? And then who am I saving again?
The princess?
Okay, as you can see, not a fan. Let's turn this off. Let's turn this off. You know, one of these days I'm gonna do a video that's gonna compare the different Donkey Kong games on the different consoles. But as you can see, I'm not a fan. I am not a fan of the way this looked right here. I was kind of really disappointed. I should have looked into it a little more. But I'm not going to go through all the different games, but I actually, most of the games that came out for the Atari and the Coleco, they actually shared, so they all did different games. Only certain games were made specifically for the different systems. As you can see, we got the Activision game. I got a Pitfall here. I have Advanced Dungeons & Dragons. We picked these up again at the Long Island Gaming Expo this past August. Boxes are a little worse for wear. What do you think? A little worse for wear?
Yeah, but they've held up through the test of time.
I guess. We also have Armor Battle, which is like a combat type game. Space Hawk, the spaceship. What game? What system did not have a spaceship game back then?
Mm-hmm.
A space game, something like that. It actually came packed in with this game, which is called Poker Blackjack. Right? What kid wanted to play blackjack? Obviously, the Intellivision was made for adults. What do you think? And then I have one of the top rated ones, and I have to admit, I really enjoyed this one. It's called Night Stalker. This one is really good. I'm actually going to do a video reviewing this one. This one is really good. I really like this one. The graphics and all, it's really nice. We have Beauty and the Beast. Remember that? Kind of resembles a lot like a Popeye in a way. And one of the games that actually was specifically made for this, I think they did make them for the Atari or something like that. Yeah, they did. But originally just for this because it's made by Mattel. Masters of the Universe, the Power of He-Man. So let's throw that in there.
He-Man. Really?
I'm a big fan of He-Man. You know we like He-Man. And la 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 la. And it's got the jingle to it. You gotta admit that. Come on.
Yeah.
Right? 1983 by Mattel.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So I'm most likely going to do a video of this also. Yeah, let's do practice. Insert, yes. Okay, there goes He-Man. I'm getting on the, alright. There goes, as you can see, there goes,
This looks like Defenders.
No. Well, I'm trying to get, come on, get up. No. Why can't I get, anyway. It's really awkward. I mean, I like the fact that I get to play He-Man. Don't get me wrong. You get to play a Masters of the Universe game from way back then. And I really wanted this one. That's one of the reasons I really wanted the Intellivision. But I am not doing I'm not doing so good. Just reset the damn thing. We're going to finish up this video real quick. The Mattel's Intellivision released in 1979. Mattel wanted to get into the video game market back then. Obviously, it suffered the same fate most of the video game systems back then. The Atari, of course. Coleco, Intellivision, mainly due to the crash. Supposed crash, because back then I didn't feel the difference of a crash. If I saw a game and it cost $20 at one time and I went there and it cost $5, I didn't see that as a crash to me, but I could understand how come it hurt the games. They just flushed the market with too many freaking games at one time. And the Intellivision, suffered quite a bit because of it. Actually lasted for quite some time. I think until late 80s and 90s. But by then, who was really playing the Intellivision that I didn't know? It was either Atari and Nintendo and Sega by the time the late 80s came out. But again, the Intellivision, definitely wanted to share that with you. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave a message, please. And thanks for following us. We really appreciate it. See you guys next time. Keep it retro!
Yes.